Hello there, my name is Flicker, and we're now on the second floor of the Strange Pear gallery. My frame rate is absolute dog shit, so it's going to take a little bit of finagling to get into position for each painting. I will let you know when I am in position, though. Alright? This month's second floor solo exhibition features the 3D render artwork of Lumen. Lumen is an artist whose craft is held in the 3D world, creating renders that speak life and emotion with each piece. With him having aphantasia, the inability to picture things in his mind, he doesn't see it as a downside, but a challenge he overcomes, doing his best to create not what he could imagine, but what his heart feels is right. He takes pride and joy with making spotlights for his and his friends' OCs, making the characters come to life with each rendered piece. He not only enjoys making renders of the OCs, but he enjoys to take his favorite characters from video games and give them their own spotlight to show his love for every one of them. Huh, neat. And the sun, the star, the moon, by Lumen. Neat. The deer in the background adds a nice little bit of character to the scene. Overall, it seems pretty decent. Overgrown ruins of abandoned civilization. 1144 by Lumen. I like how the mythological reference here is subtle. That in being it's shown in the artwork of the bus stop as just a nice little background detail rather than becoming the full thing. Character poses seem pretty decent. Chill, everyone's hanging out, there's a conversation going, whatnot. Discussing where to go to for the night. That kind of chill vibes. Looking good. Also, the lighting choice and positioning really does help bring the eye to the center of the piece. A bed of stars. That's the irony of things. You could have an entire universe in your bed frame, but in the end, it's still just a bed. And there would be something more that you would reach for, something more that you would want, something other. Nice composition, beautiful lighting. Pretty damn solid render. Wonder how long that took with all those particles. At peace. Ooh. Good blurring of the background and of the foreground to highlight the face and the fact that they're just laying down in grass. Wonder how often people will give themselves the chance to just sit around and do this after they've achieved a successful life. There's something about it I think that's worthwhile. Just letting your back be supported by the earth instead of underneath your feet. To know that you don't have to hold yourself up because the earth is there for you. A firmness, a peace to it. A place to just stop trying to be in every moment of your life. It's nice. Hmm. Great use of perspective work to frame this. Because initially I thought she was like attached to the circle when I wasn't looking at all the details. I thought she was at scale to the framing object, but no. You look down and shown that she's a giant statue further out. There's something to be said for that kind of still beauty. Memoria. Does that... One moment. Hmm. Very beautiful. And I don't know why, but for some reason made me think of like a grave marker or a memorial. Like that of for someone who passed or whatnot. Not sure if that's ever relevant, but it's beautiful framing. No way back. All the doors to what once was are closed. The only ones left open are the ones you haven't explored yet. I guess you've got to wander for a bit. Shots like this usually remind me of like someone's internal mindscape or like metaphorical framing for how a character feels about something in the depths of their mind when the physical moment doesn't reflect such a reality directly. Really adds emotional weight to metaphor. Hmm. Wonderful framing. I wonder how long some of these took to set up and then shoot. Little Lion Man, huh? Looking pretty chill. Hmm. 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 I don't really have much to say about this one. Hmm. The one thing I have to admire about each of these renders is the lighting and the shading choice. Because instead of having to do the individual parts, it instead comes down to, okay, what's the angle and position of the lighting that gives off the most effective it, translation into shadows and shading that really fits for this emotional moment. Be it somber, lighthearted, casual, serious, or otherwise. Hmm. Taking the time to put the hand to the knee and to the car, make it feel like the characters are really just sitting on it and interacting with a physical object and not just a model. Gotta take at least a good few hours minimum. Hmm. Hmm. This seems like a very somber scene, a very somber render, where a character has to make a difficult choice. I can't tell if that's a moon in the sky above them or a planet. I'm going to vet planet simply because it seems to be obscuring another object off in the distance. Hmm. A druid's calling. The framing of this really does a good job of conveying the kind of emotional weight the character is feeling right now. Because unlike a more traditional like happy moment where someone's just enjoying the touch of the grass and whatnot, the orbiting body that's the largest is positioned behind them, almost like if they're being crushed underneath its weight. And yet they've got their arms planted in the grass, firmly holding it up and trying to figure out what choice they're going to make. If they answer the call or if they run from it. Regardless, it's not going to be easy or simple for them. A painted memory, Blender render. Looks like a lovely time, just chilling and talking. Wonder what inside jokes were passed around. That'll always have me curious. Good job in getting the render to look like it was painted. Mm-hmm. Repositioning a few things. Oops, overshoot, overshoot. Sunlit loneliness. Using lighting through the window to highlight the person just sitting in a chair. Sun rays to illuminate them and only really the area where the light crosses. Does a very good job of conveying the ambient mood of a sort of solitude despair. The emptiness that haunts rather than the emptiness that comforts. Imagine getting the light to do the reflecting properties off that wall corner where the window outline finally shows up to then ambiently light up parts of the room. I doubt that was easy. Probably had to use two separate, I don't know, planes, illuminations. Hard to tell. Hmm. This one feels closer to something of the mind, like one's inner world and how they view someone. Opening a portal to peer from and admire, but too hesitant or self-restrained to ever really interact. Hmm. Regardless of if it's the character's mind or the creator's mind, it's still portrayed deeply well. Looking out upon a vibrant, beautiful world from within the confines of a gloomier, dimmer one that still houses life of its own kind. Both are necessary, both are real. And a day off, spending time with your buddy, seems rather lovely. I'm glad characters and people like get moments to just rest like that. Mm-hmm. Good use of lighting to illuminate the subject, nice angle on the framing to make sure that the eye's drawn towards the most meaningful and center part of the image. Well done. with one's own shadows in the mirror, how they reflect back at you and taunt you from the other side. Definitely not a high moment, more of a low one. Debatable on whether or not there's any like grief or rage at play. Could be a sense of twisted pride. But either way, there's still a burden. There's still an emotional weight and stress to it. Well done. Prison of my own making. Yeah. Yeah. If all you chase after is hollow lust, all you'll get in return is hollow lust. People who don't respect you, people who only want to possess you. People who don't see you for a person, but just an output. Something to help them feel good. And you made that prison yourself? It's going to be difficult to get out of, but I wish you the best of luck. If you even want to get out of it at all. Bury me in metal. That's better. Good use of background lighting to cast the figure in shadows of contrast. Letting the light illuminate an outline without highlighting it directly. Like a force of nature slowly approaching, hell-bent on taking what it wants. In the court of the dragon. I have no doubts his pretty looks aid him. But unless he's able to back those looks up with the power and true authority, it's nothing more than a pretty face. Really good aura farming, though, gotta say. Nice use of contrasting lighting with the yellow and the pink. If not red. Reddish pink, kind of. And then maybe a blue light from the front? That would help explain a lot. How long did this take you to set up? I'm curious to know. And now we're onto the roof. That window off on the left looks interesting. It's an aquarium! Available for $5 at that link. Neat. Nice little details. Door to infinity. Damn it, too far. There we go. Wow. I really wished for shaders like this you could just poke your head in and look around, even if you couldn't actually enter the place. Oh, alas, one of those things you're not going to be able to do very often. Creative output. A creative output that reminds me of my time on the older internet, where things were a bit less commoditized and people still had a sense of wonder in them. Hmm. Ooh, this is a nice and interesting design. I do hope there's proper airflow in the upper area for venting, and lower area too. You want the interior to be warm and cool and comfortable, but if there's actual perfect air sealing on this, then eventually the people inside are going to suffocate due to lack of oxygen and nitrogen. Definitely an interesting and fun concept right here. 10 out of 10, might take inspiration from it. Reminds me of another location a bit. The glass window panes are really the highlight of this, I would say. Because if you do a dim enough light and then add a little bit of extra lighting on the back of the panes, you could have basically a little private talking space where even when people are inside, they're not even noticed. There's no outlines, no giveaways other than potentially the sounds that are allowed to escape through the container. Quite a fun and interesting play on the idea. Hmm. If there were an area in my forest where these would fit aesthetically, that would be nice. As it stands, I've yet to have an area that goes for this kind of aesthetic. Which is a shame, because it's quite the lovely idea. In any case, damn, I can't jump when the laptop is broken like this. Son of a bitch. Alright, respawn it is. Hmm. With that, I have finished my visit of the Strange Pear Gallery, and I'll be seeing you all later. I hope you enjoyed my little thoughts and observations. Remember, if you're interested in visiting this place yourself, go check out Pear's Discord server down in the link below. I'm sure they'd love to have more community over there. In any case, my name is Flicker. I've finished visiting the Strange Pear Gallery, and thus I will be seeing you all later. I hope you all have a good day, good night, whatever time or non-time it is. If it isn't good, you're feeling stuck, lonely, lost, or whatever, well, I hope that things either improve, that they stay manageable, or at the very least that you're able to find someplace to sit, rest, and vent from, without hurting yourself or others now if you can so help it. After all, we're each trying to live our own lives in what ways we can. I'll see you in the next video. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.